On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Logan Paul's contract ends after WrestleMania 39. Roxanne Perez returns and will compete at NXT Stand and Deliver. And we get a backstage update on Carmella's recent absence from WWE TV. Folks, we're in your favorite wrestling mood, some wrestling news, because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Before he steps up to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 39 this weekend, Logan Paul has dropped major news regarding his contract with WWE. Previous reports suggested Paul had been locked into a multi-year deal with the company, but it appears that isn't the case. In the newest episode of the Impulsive podcast, Paul revealed that his current deal with the company is just days away from expiring as it concludes on the grand stage of WrestleMania. It's so crazy. It's like the epitome of everything that I was doing my entire life. I want to lean into it, he said, reflecting on his first year in the sport. My contract ends this WrestleMania. My rookie year is about to be up. It was a good rookie year, though it remains to be seen if WWE will draw up a new contract for him. One of his co-hosts joked that, quote, "We need a renewal, trying to get you those Lele Pons numbers," referring to a previous claim that WWE had offered YouTuber Lele Pons $20 million to sign with them. Fightful later confirmed that those reports were false. "I knew that the claim wasn't true. I didn't think anyone would take it serious," Paul said. So this is a very interesting case because you've got a polarizing figure, right? Like Logan Paul. But then you've got, you've got his performance, you know, and he's really good in the ring. Like, I do not care what anybody says. He's really good in the ring. And he's had such like elaborate training way before he even stepped into a wrestling ring for the mic, not for wrestling, for the mic, because, you know, he's gone through so many different iterations of himself on YouTube, and then he went into boxing, and, you know, boxing, you gotta be able to hype everything up, you know what I'm saying? Like, a good portion of boxing is the build to the match itself. So you figure Logan Paul, he goes in WWE, it's not necessarily that different, you know what I'm saying? It goes from like a contact sport, right, to, you know, performance and that sort of stuff. So like the landscape hasn't really changed all that much. So you look at a guy like Logan Paul and you see what he's capable of, and you got to think to yourself, man, if we do not utilize this guy to his fullest potential, I feel like we're missing out on a very big, lucrative opportunity with him. I personally think that if you're WWE, re-sign him. Maybe, yeah, re-sign him. I mean, okay, I don't know, okay, because when I say re-sign, like, the first thing I think of is, oh, he's going to be part of the roster now. And I don't know if that is something that Logan Paul is going to be able to commit to. I think that Logan Paul is going to have a lot of different things going on and a lot of different sponsors and what have you. And that just doesn't really seem like something that Logan Paul is going to be able to, like, you know, do. So at the end of the day, I think that it would probably be a good idea for Logan Paul to stay with the company. But I don't know if I don't know if Logan Paul and WWE are going to be able to come to an agreement in the sense of like, hey, I want you to work. I assume it's going to be, I want you to work this date and that date and that date and this date. I don't think it's going to be a sense of like, okay, we need you on Raw, then we need you on SmackDown, then we need you on this Raw, and then you can take the week off, and then we need you on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily know. That is fully up to WWE and Logan Paul's availability. I'm not either, but I will say this. I do think that WWE is going to re-sign Logan Paul to a new contract. Next, we're going to talk about Roxanne Perez returning, and she will compete at WWE's NXT Stand and Deliver. NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez made her NXT return Tuesday night. Perez had been off TV because she wasn't, quote, medically cleared to wrestle following her match with Meiko Satomura on the March 7th edition of NXT. After she retained her title, Perez collapsed and was stretchered out of the arena. A week later, on the March 14th edition of NXT, Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative Shawn Michaels announced that there is going to be a ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver Premium Live event. Since then, Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Indy Hartwell, and Lyra Valkyria have all qualified for the title match. During Tuesday night's episode, Perez returned to speak with Michaels about overcoming her anxiety and how she never actually lost the NXT Women's Championship. Michaels eventually granted a request to be part of the ladder match as long as she gets tested, and Michaels wants to have, quote, meetings with her doctors. I don't. So it was real then. So it was real. So all of this was real. So there was no like weird kayfabe situation, even though technically there was, because when I say we, I mean so far it seems like literally everybody was not 100% sure where Roxanne Perez was going to stand and deliver. All. See, look, I know what I'm doing. So I'm glad she's cleared, right? Man. That was just a very confusing set of weeks, but again, I'm glad that she's okay, and that was such a weird, like, roller coaster of emotions to go on, that was so very odd that they did that, but seeing as how it was real, I understand why they did it, right, and I can't really fault them for that, because they didn't necessarily know what was going to happen, so they were like, listen, we don't want to say this thing is going to happen, or this thing is not going to happen, so let's just, in kayfabe, let's just like keep it up in the air, right? Until we actually know what the hell's going on. And once we figure that out, okay, bam, you're going to be back in the match and everything will be fine. So I'm glad that she's back. Everything's all good to go. I'm excited for the match. And listen, man, we're just going to have to wait and see who's actually going to go away with the win. Finally, we've got backstage news on Carmella's recent absence from WWE TV. Carmella has not been on WWE television since the March 13th Raw, where she accompanied Chelsea Green to the ring for a match against Bianca Belair. Subsequently, on the March 20th episode, Adam Pearce told Green in a backstage segment that, quote, Carmella was not available to team with her in a WrestleMania Showcase qualifying match. With Carmella once again absent from this week's Raw, Green went on to find a new partner in Sonya Deville as WWE finalized the field for the Women's WrestleMania Showcase match. Besides missing 3 weeks of television tapings, Carmella was also pulled from recent WWE live events, leading fans to worry about her whereabouts and health. However, fans can expect to see the former Miss Money in the Bank back in action imminently. According to Fightful Select, Carmella, quote, will be around this week as WWE prepares for its biggest show of the year, WrestleMania 39. A WWE source told Fightful that Carmella had been, quote, sidelined, but did not elaborate on the reason for her prolonged absence. The source also shot down unsubstantiated rumors about Carmella, quote, having heat with WWE management, dismissing them as ridiculous assumptions. As of Tuesday, Carmella was reportedly scheduled to be in Los Angeles for WrestleMania week. She was also slated to make appearances at a Make-A-Wish event and a Be A Star rally. It's also worth highlighting that Carmella was at a Los Angeles Angels game at Angels Stadium Tuesday evening as the Angels faced off against the Dodgers. She was accompanied to the game by fellow WWE superstars Bobby Lashley and Io Sky. Furthermore, Carmella appeared on an episode of Wheel of Fortune earlier this week as part of WWE's promotion of WrestleMania. It seems like, there wasn't really anything wrong with her and they took her off of the card anyway. I don't necessarily know. Oh, well, okay, so that explains why everybody thought that there was heat, because I don't understand why you would take Carmella off if there's nothing wrong with her. That is a bit confusing. I'm not going to lie. Again, she seems fine, so it's a bit weird that she's not going to be at WrestleMania. Maybe there's, another reason or something. Maybe, there's like I don't know, maybe she has a dentist appointment to go to. I don't know. Listen, all right, I don't really know. The only person who knows is Carmella, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't seem like anything's wrong. I know I keep saying that, but like, it's like the first thing you think of, like, oh, she maybe she's sick, maybe she's like, you know what I'm saying, maybe it's one of those like, oh, she like hyperextended a shoulder or something like that, you know what I'm saying, and it's like, oh, I don't want to go to WrestleMania and exacerbate it, you know what I mean? So maybe it's something like that, or maybe it's some sort of contract I don't know, you know what I'm saying? The only person who knows is Carmella. But again, she's at Wheel of Fortune, right? She went to a full-on baseball game. There's pictures of it on Twitter. She seems like she's all right. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a Weekend at Bernie situation. You know what I mean? I don't genuinely know, So, I mean, I guess the only thing we're going to really have to do is wait until after WrestleMania if we're going to see Carmella again. So, until, I guess, Carmella comes out and goes, no, it's fine, I'm all right, because that's how she talks. The only thing we can really do is just be like, look, speedy recovery, but you're not hurt. So, this is a really, an odd, outcome, I guess. That's the only word I can really think of. Can you tell I'm stumped on this one? Look, she's not hurt. I'm glad. I guess we'll see after WrestleMania then. I guess that's literally all I can say. What do we talk about? I think Logan Paul and WWE are going to come to a contract agreement. I'm more than certain that something like that is going to happen. I highly doubt that if you're WWE, I highly doubt that you're going to have Logan Paul just be like one and done. You know what I'm saying? I highly assume that WWE and Logan Paul are going to continue on with their escapades. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna have to wait and see what type of contract agreement they come to. You know, so only time will tell. Roxanne Perez returns. That's good. At one point, she was not medically. I don't know. She was medically ambiguous. Okay. It wasn't really like known whether or not she actually. Well, okay. She was hurt. Well, no. She like something was wrong, but like WWE was like, we don't know how serious it is. So we're just going to like leave you off of TV for a little bit just to like make sure. And now you're good now, which is good. So we're going to put you back on the card now. That is the most that I can remember from this, because I remember reading it and being like, huh? You know? So listen, she's good to go. And listen, to be fair, that's really all we need to know. So listen, hopefully she wins, all right? And we've got backstage news on Carmella. And again, like Roxanne, I guess she's okay. Right? I guess that there's nothing really to worry about. I guess we don't have to worry about, Carmella having any type of health-related issues. It just seems weird that she was taken off of the card. It seems like she was a shoo-in for WrestleMania, especially with Chelsea Green. But, yeah, they took her off, and I don't know why. So, hopefully we're going to see her after WrestleMania, because if we don't see her after WrestleMania, it kind of, like, begs the question of, like, are you all right? Like, is everything okay? It doesn't sound like it is, you know what I'm saying? So we're just going to have to wait and see. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.